الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون. الحمد لله الذي أنزل على عبده الكتاب ولم يجعل له عوجا. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله لقد جاءت رسل ربنا بالحق. نعم. So we are on the very walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sister Dhakira. Now, and everyone else. So last week we talked about this صفحة السادسة عشر من المصحف المدني, right? The 16th page from the Medinan print of the Mus'haf, that we're going over those ayahs. وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ. This is when Allah Ta'ala talks about as-sihr. And we said that as-sihr والحسد والعين, they are connected. لهم ارتباط ببعض, right? They're connected to one another. And we talked about that it can come by way of the eye. It's magic. This hasad and this ayn, it can come by the way of the eye, by looking. وَيَكَادُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَيُزْلِكُنَّكَ بِأَبْصَارِهِمْ لَمَّا سَمِعُوا الذِّكْرَ وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّهُ لَمَجْنُونَ. Allah Ta'ala said, those who disbelieve would almost want to trip you up with their eyes. Ayn. They want to put the ayn on you. They want to cause you some hardship or difficulty. They want to cause you some loss just by looking at you. And this is how dangerous the ayn is. So Allah Ta'ala says in these ayats, وَاتَّبَعُوا مَا تَتْلُو الشَّيَاطِينُ عَلَى مُلْكِ سُلَيْمَانَ وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقولا إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر فيتعلمون منهما ما يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه وما هم بضارين به من أحد إلا بإذن الله ويتعلمون ما يضرهم ولا ينفعهم ولقد علموا لمن اشتراه ما له في الآخرة من خلاق ولبئس ما شروا به أنفسهم لو كانوا يعلمون. Allah Ta'ala said, and they follow what the demons recited in the kingdom of Sulaiman. In Sulaiman, this is not like the Christians believe. اليهود حتى اليهود أيضا والنصارى, they say that what? كان سليمان ملكا ساحرا عياذا بالله. The كذب. They say, we know that they have a loose tongue when it comes to the prophets. They say anything about the prophets. اليهود والنصارى يتكلمون بالأنبياء كأنهم من عامة الناس, بل أسوأ من ذلك. Worse than that. They talk about prophets and messengers like they're just regular people, or even worse than that. They say about prophets and messengers what they don't accept being said about themselves. من مقالاتهم أنهم قالوا أن نوح عليه السلام زنم ابنتيه عياذا بالله. They say that Nuh alayhi salam, he slept with his two daughters. No, this is the thing they say about Anbiya. Yeah, this story, they say this about prophets. They have no regard for prophets. In Islam, we have high regard for the Anbiya. We have high regard for the Anbiya. We don't speak ill about the Anbiya. نحن نوقرهم ونعزهم الأنبياء. كيف نعيب في من اختاره الله للرسالة والوحي? How? How come we're going to try to find fault in someone that Allah chose for his message and for revelation? هذا اختيار الله. هؤلاء أفضل خلق الله الأنبياء.
من لم يصدق واحد يعني كذبهم جميعا.
أين Allah said كذب قوم نوح بالمرسلين. Subhanallah. The Shaykh is saying whoever disbelieves in one prophet, he's disbelieving all of them. Allah Ta'ala said what? كذب قوم نوح بالمرسلين. Allah said the people of Nuh disbelieved in all of the messengers. How could they disbelieve in all of the messengers when only Nuh was sent to them? How? Anyone? Answer. How can Allah said, كذب قوم نوح بالمرسلين, that the people of Nuh disbelieved in the messengers? How could they be? How could it be that Allah said they disbelieved in all of the messengers when only one was sent to them?
عندك الحكي يعني نحن وعاشوا اخوته اللي على ديننا واحد، شرائعنا تختلف،
نعم
التوحيد واحد.
نعم
ولكن بعض اهل الامه الراشده ان يعبدوا الله ويجتنبوا الطاغوت،
نعم
الدين الواحد.
نعم
والتشريع يعني يختلف.
نعم صحيح صحيح. I'm going to translate this in a minute. دقيقة يا شيخ. Now, what are you saying?
I was saying, so they disbelieve in the first one, that means they would disbelieve in all the rest.
Nah. Nah. Abu Rumaysa, what do you have to say?
Now, when you disbelieve in one of them, you disbelieve in all of them because they all came with the same message of Tawheed. Worship Allah alone. So,
نعم. So disbelieving in one, الكفر بواحد كفر بالجميع. نعم. والعكس ليس كذلك. والعكس ليس كذلك. But the opposite is not true. Believing in one doesn't mean you believe in all of them. النصارى يؤمنون بعيسى لكن يكفرون بمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the opposite is not true. Disbelieving in one connotates disbelief in all of them. But believing in one doesn't mean you believe in all of them. The Jews, they believe in Musa alayhi salam. They believe in Dawood wa Sulaiman, but they don't believe in Isa alayhi salam or Prophet Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the Sheikh is saying, the Prophet said, al-anbiya ikhwat al-adlat, that they are united brothers. They have one religion, دينهم واحد. They have one religion. One religion. But their legislation is different. Each prophet has a different sharia. Their religion is one. Allah said what? وَلَقَدْ بَعَثْنَا فِي كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولًا. And we sent to every time period, a messenger. أَنْ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ وَاجْتَنِبُوا الطَّاغُوتَ. That you should all worship Allah and stay away from at-taghut. Now, this is what Allah Ta'ala said. So, it's believing in one. So, Sulaiman didn't disbelieve. وَمَا كَفَرُ سُلَيْمَانَ وَلَكِنْ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا. Sulaiman didn't disbelieve, but Sulaiman didn't disbelieve, but the shayateen يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ السِّحْرَ, teaching people magic. We're going to talk about أحكام تتعلق بالسحر. We're going to talk about rulings that connected to magic. And that which was sent down upon those two angels in Babylon. Babylon was a real place. It was in Iraq, Persia. Babylon is real. Now Babylon is real. Now Babylonia. Hey, now Babil. Now Harut wa Marut. Now وَمَا يُعَلِّمَانِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ حَتَّى يَقُولَ. And they didn't teach anybody except they said, this is the trial for you, so do not disbelieve. From this ayah, the ulama used this ayah. How many times was disbelief connected to magic in this ayah? Allah said, وَمَا كَفَرُ سُلَيْمَانَ مرة واحد. خلاص؟ الأفوان الأول. First time. وَمَا كَفَرُ سُلَيْمَانَ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا or attain يعلمون الناس السحر. Then he says what? نحن فتنة فلا تكفر. 3 times كفر. فيتعلمون منهم ما يفرقون به بين المرء ما هم بضارين به إلا بإذن الله ويتعلمون ما يضرهم ولا ينفعهم ولقد علموا لمن اشتراه ما له في الآخرة من خلاق ولبئس ما شروا به أنفسهم لو كانوا يعلمون. So Allah mentioned kufr in this ayah about magic 3 times. ذكر الله تعالى الكفر يعني معلقا بالسحر 3 مرات في آية واحدة. ولذلك, for that reason, the scholars say that السحر كفر والساحر ساحر كافر. أين he's executed. Magician must be executed. Must be executed ولو تاب. أين so when the Sheikh is saying when the magician is captured, we don't say repent like somebody who abandoned the prayer. You tell the person to abandon the prayer, you ترك الصلاة. يستتاب. You return to the prayer. Sabullah. Somebody said something bad about Allah. Yustatab. Repent. Return back from the statement you said. return back from the statement you said. But the magician, even if he makes tawbah, even if he says, astaghfirullah, I shouldn't have did this, he's still in a Muslim country under a Muslim ruler, because we don't want anybody to take the speech that we're saying here and try to turn it into something, right? لا نريد أحد يحرف كلامنا. يقول انظر هؤلاء إرهابيين متشددين، يقول القتل للساحر يعني هنا، لأن هنا بالنسبة لهم الساحر هذا لا فرق بينه ومهرج، يعني يطلع أمام الناس يفعل سحر والناس يصفقون له. هنا هذا هنا في هذه الدولة. You know, the magician, the scholar said, even if he made tawbah, he's still in a Muslim country under a Muslim ruler that's being ruled by the Sharia, he's still executed, even after his tawbah. Why? Because he can't forget what he knows. Nah, he can't forget what he knows. He still knows how to do magic, no matter what. Still knows how to do voodoo. يعني أبين لهم يعني لعلمه بالسحر لا ينسى، فهذا علم خطر على نفسه وعلى الأمة، فهذا يبعد من الأمة بإعدام، بقتل، بحد. So he's taken away. كالثيب الزاني, just like the married fornicator. ولو تاب, even if he repented, execute. إذا شهد على نفسه أو أربع شهود, if he bore witness against himself, I'm an adulterer, or 4 people bore witness against him, even if he makes tawbah, he's still executed. Then his affairs with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أمره إلى الله.
لا يحل دم امرئ مسلم إلا بإحدى
الثيب الزاني ونفس بالنفس الديني المفارق للجماعة. أي نعم. Talking about the hadith in Mas'ud, that the Prophet said it's not permissible to shed the blood of Muslim in 3 situations. And from it mentioned الثيب الزاني, the married fornicator. He's married and he's fornicating, the adulterer. So the sahid is the same thing. So Allah said, and Sulaiman didn't disbelieve, but those shayateen, they disbelieved teaching people magic and that which was sent down upon the 2 angels in Babylon, Harut and Marut. And they never taught anybody anything from that, except they said, we are a trial, so don't disbelieve. So they learned from them how to separate a man and his wife. And they had no ability to harm anyone except by the permission of Allah. So they learned that which harmed them instead of that which benefited them. And they knew that whoever purchased such evil, that they would have no standing in the hereafter. How evil it is for what they have sold their souls, if they only knew. La ilaha illallah. So, this first ayah, we're going to read what the ulama said. وَلَمَا تَرَكُوا دِينَ اللَّهِ وَاتَّبَعُوا بَدَلًا عَنْهُ مَا تَتَقَوَّلَهُ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَذِبًا عَلَى مُلْكِ نَبِيِّ اللَّهِ سُلَيْمَانَ عليه الصلاة والسلام حيث زعمت أنه ثبتت ملكه بالسحر. Said, so when they abandoned the religion of Allah and followed instead of that, that which was invented, or the statements that were invented as a lie, that the king and the prophet of Allah, Sulaiman, they claimed and thought that his kingdom was established through magic. His kingdom was established through magic. This is what they say. وَمَا كَفَرُ سُلَيْمَانَ. So he did not disbelieve بِطَاعَةِ السِّحْرِ, by going to magic in order to get wealthy. And this is going on in the music industry. الآن المغنيين يذبحون للشياطين لشهرة. هذا الآن كثير منهم جنوا وعلى وشك الجنون، يقول أنا بعت روحي للإبليس. يقول هذا الكفر الآن. The magician, you all know us now. It's all on the YouTube, and many of the famous people are coming out, movie stars. Now, yeah, it said that they're disbelievers already. It says their worst sin is disbelief. So there's no sin after disbelief. Means nothing worse than the fact that they disbelieve. So meaning that they're willing, because they're kuffar, they're willing to do anything. They're willing to do anything. So they're selling their souls to become famous. And you see them now, they're losing their minds and they're coming. No, they made me do this. They made me do that. I had to sacrifice somebody in my family. Some of them saying, we can't speak about it. What happened? Did we have to go in the room? We have to go to these parties and celebrations.
Oh, that's true. Like, they're trying to make it like, oh, he got that.
Yeah, conspiracy theory.
Kanye.
In order to get famous, there's a lot of things that they have to do. And we see this is not new. The shayateen has been doing this with the people. Exactly. In order to do what? To get famous. Yeah. It's not new. Right? No, exactly. So he said, Sulaiman, he didn't disbelieve. Who said this about Sulaiman? Who said that Sulaiman established his kingdom through magic? Who said this? Remember what we've been reading for the last Tafseer. Who remembers? Who said this? Who was saying this about Sulaiman?
Food.
نعم, the Jews, اليهود, هم الذين قالوا هذا عن سليمان عليه السلام في زعمهم وادعائهم أنهم يؤمنون به, and with them claiming they believe in him. لكن يقولون هذا فيه. But they say this. So if they believe that a prophet practiced magic in order to establish his kingdom, what are they doing? What do you think they're doing? إذا هم زعموا أن هناك نبي تعاطى السحر ليثبت ملكه, فإذا كيف هم يثبتون ملكهم الآن؟ إذا هم يعتقدون في السحر. They believe in magic. لا إله إلا الله. سائلة تقول مع أن المسلم الذي يخلط السحر بالإسلام كيف؟ No, it's impossible. It's like oil and water. If somebody tries to mix voodoo هذا نوع من السحر من بعض الجزر خارج أمريكا يسمون السحر فودو. الله, حتى يصنعون الدمية على شكل الإنسان الذي هم يريد أن يسحره. أي نعم, ويأتون ببعض شعره أو ملابسه حتى يفعل السحر ثم ينفخون فيه والنفث. Allah المستعان. I'm telling the Sheikh about voodoo. I never heard it before that. And they make the dolls and like that. I'm telling them about that. Nah. So no, there's no such thing as magic with Islam. Nah. Louisiana. Nah. So there's no such thing as magic with Islam. Magic and Islam doesn't go together. Magic is kufr. Islam is iman. Iman and kufr. It will never mix. Nah. So said وما كفر سليمان بتعاطي السحر كما زعمت اليهود. So Sulaiman didn't disbelieve by practicing magic like the Jews claim. ولكن الشياطين كفروا حيث كانوا يعلمون الناس السحر ويعلمونهم السحر الذي أنزل على الملكين هاروت وماروت بمدينة بابل بالعراق. He said no, Sulaiman didn't disbelieve. Whether the Jews disbelieve, whether the shayateen disbelieve, where they were teaching people magic, teaching them the magic that was sent down upon the two angels, Harut and Marut, in the city of Babylon in Iraq. ابتحانا وابتلاء للناس. The angels taught this as a test and a trial. وما كان هذان الملكان يعلمان أي أحد السحر حتى يحذراه ويبيناه له بقولهما إنما نحن ابتلاء وامتحان للناس فلا تكفر بتعلمك السحر. فمن لم يقبل نصحهما تعلم منهما السحر. ومنه نوع يفرق بين الرجل وزوجته نعم بزرع البغضاء بينهما. نعم. It says so. And these two angels, they never taught anyone anything from this magic before. Both of them warned them and made it clear with their statement. Indeed, this knowledge, this information is a trial and a test for the people. So do not disbelieve by learning this magic. قال بعض العلماء بل التعليم تعليم الملكين للناس كان تعليم تحذيري وليس تعليم علمي. تحذيري، كأنك تقول لابنك انظر إذا أخذت الشوكة هذه ووضعته في الكهرباء تتكهرب، لا تفعل. تعليم تحذيري وليس تعليم تربوي. That some of the scholars say no, rather the angels who taught the magic to the people, it was a lesson of warning and not a lesson for guidance. They weren't guiding them to the magic. Just like you would take your child and you say, listen, you see this metal fork? You don't put it in that socket. If you put it in there, you'll get electrocuted. So you show him that this, if you did this and you show him how it's done, you say, if you put it in there, you'll die. So never do that. So you're actually showing him, but you're showing him to warn him. You see that light? When you cross the street, never cross. If you cross on the red, you see what happened? Watch, it's red now. Stay right here. I'm going to show you what happens. Then the cars, beep, 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 beep. Say, see? Never do that. The cars will run you over. So it's a lesson to warn you. So the angels taught so that the people would know, if you see somebody doing this, that's magic, get away from them. If you see somebody doing this, that's magic, get away from it. If you see somebody doing this, that's magic. And the people have to be aware of taking the stories of the Jews and Christians that these two angels disobeyed. These two angels had free will and disobeyed Allah and they became demons. No, that's not what happened. The two angels never disbelieved and they never taught the people in order to make them magicians. They taught the people to warn them. This is magic. You ever see somebody do this? That's magic. Stay away from it. Because if you go to it, you're going to leave the fold of Islam. ولذلك كان السحر من نواقض الإسلام. That's why magic is from the things that nullify Islam.
كما يقول يقول كانت الناس من الصحابة يسألون الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم يعني عن الخير ويسألون عن الشر.
اي نعم كحديث حذيفة. نعم الله يبارك فيك. الشيخ سمعنا حديث حذيفة. he said كان الناس يسألون النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الخير وكنت أسأله عن الشر مخافة أن يدركني. He said the people used to ask the prophet about the good, but I used to ask him about the evil, fearing that it would happen to me. Right? Even in another narration, that some people came to حذيفة وقالوا من أين لك هذا العلم كله؟ من أين لك هذا العلم كله؟ Ask حذيفة, where you get all this knowledge from? قال كان الناس يسألون النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الخير وكنت أسأله عن الشر. He said the people used to ask the prophet about the good. I used to ask him about the evil. وكانوا يسألونه, هذا عند الطبراني, وكانوا يسألونه عن الماضي وكنت أسأله عن المستقبل. And they used to ask the prophet about the past. I used to ask him about the future. Subhanallah. See the difference? Subhanallah.
الشيخ في زمن فتنة الصحابة رضوان الله عليهم يعني قال عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال أيكم يحفظ أحاديث الفتن؟ قال حذيفة أنا يا رسول الله، أنا يا عمر، أنا يا أمير المؤمنين. قال إنك إذا لجريء.
سبحان
إنك إذا لجريء.
سبحان الله.
قال عن أي فتنة تسأل؟ قال عن فتنة يعني هو الرجل في يعني ماله أو ولده أو في جاره. قال هذه تكفرها الصلاة والزكاة والصدقة. أسأل عن التي تموج كموج البحر.
لا إله إلا الله. فتنة الدهيماء.
يعني.
أي نعم.
قال له ما لك ولها إن بينك وبينها بابا مغلق. قال هل يفتح الباب أم يكسر؟ قال يكسر. اللي هو قتل عمر بن الخطاب.
نعم.
فحري من الباب لا يغلق.
Subhanallah. He said that Umar radiallahu anhu was with the Sahaba when he was the Khalifa. And he asked, which of you individuals memorized the hadith about the fitna? So Hudayfa said, I do. So he said, well, what type of fitna? He said, you're talking about the fitna that a man goes through with his children and with his wife and with his neighbor and with his money and like that. He said, no, that is the type of fitna that it is expiated through prayer and fasting and charity and like that. But I'm talking about the fitna that when it comes, the fitna that comes like waves of the ocean. He said, I'm saying, well, why are you worried about that?
هذا كوارث.
Hey, now, why are you worried about that? There's something blocking it. There's a door blocking it. He said, but once that door is broken, it will never be closed again. So why are you worried about that fitna? It's a door blocking it. He said, but once that door is broken, it will never close again. It will be fitna forever after that. Ila yawm al-qiyamah. Who knows what the door was? The door. The door that opened up for that fitna to start happening to the ummah. What was that door?
هذا
The Prophet
سأل-
sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
فقالوا له هل كان عمر يعرف أنه هو الباب؟ قال نعم كما يعلم أن دون غمس أن دون غد أمس.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Now,
Is it the death of the Prophet?
no.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
You said the same thing? No, لا. No. You said the same thing. أنا سألتهم ما الباب؟ وقال النبي. فقلت لا. أين the murder of Umar was the door. Umar was that door. The Prophet ﷺ said, he said that there's a fitna that's going to happen, and Umar is the door that prevents that fitna from happening. So if Umar is killed, then what is written to befall my ummah will befall my ummah. Now, so if you look after the death of Umar, the Khawarij came بقتل عثمان وعلي المرجئة والجهمية all of the groups begin appearing. أين? Yeah, أين? The Jew, so the Shia, what? And all of this stuff started appearing after Umar was killed. ولذلك الخوارج لما سألوا علي رضي الله عنه عليا سألوا كيف وفي عهد أبي بكر وعمر كنا في كذا وخير وقال لأنهم كانوا أمراء على كمثلي لكني أمير على كمثلكم. They asked the Khawarij asked Ali, why is it that since you are the Khalifa, we have so much trials and fitna, we're going through so much trouble, but when it was Abu Bakr and Umar, they didn't mention Uthman. When Abu Bakr and Umar, we were upon good and like that. He said, because Abu Bakr and Umar were leaders of people like me, but I'm a leader of people like you. سبحان الله.
هم كانوا عندهم كثير من الشبهات ولذلك يعني عبد الله بن سبأ هذا يعني هو رأس الفتن اللي جابها من
ورأس المنافقين.
نعم. وجاء في المدينة يبحث عن الخوارج لكن لم يجد أرضا خصبا. راح إلى مصر. وكان مصر يعني كان واليها عبد الله بن يعني ابن عمر بن العاص. يعني قال له يعني أنتم تقولون أن عيسى حي. كانوا إن الله تعالى يعني قال يعني إن الذي فرض عليك القرآن يعني محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الذي فرض عليك القرآن لأرادك إلى معاد. يعني فاشتكى الصحابي يعني تحير فأرسل البريد إلى عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه وهو في المدينة يعني أرسل له المقال ومن القائد قال له فأرسل لي القائد على يعني أسرع ما يكون فأرسله إليه لما جاء إليه قالوا أنت ليه تقول إن الذي فرض عليك نعم قال يا جلاد تعال فجلده حتى أشرف على الموت قال يا طبيب تعال فطببه حتى شفي ثم قال تعال به يعني فجلد المرة الثانية والثالثة قال والذي نفس محمد بيده قال يعني ما عاد أسأل قالوا لا تردني إلى أهلي قالوا لا أنت تغرب يعني فبعثه إلى يعني العراق وكانت عند يعني هو مغيرة بشر رضي الله عنه. فلما جاء الخوارج يعني ثم جاءوا إليه قالوا تعال معنا وعندنا الحين نحن نحاصر خليفة قالوا أنا لقد أصلح هذا الرجل الصالح والله لا أعود إليها اللي هي
لا إله إلا الله. Inshallah, another time we get into it, he's talking about the fitna that happened in Iraq during after the death of Umar and during the time of Umar when he had the man beaten for whispering doubts to the Muslims and trying to corrupt their aqidah. Nah. Nah, subhanallah. He was Umar shut down all doubts that were trying to be brought during the time of his khilaf, during the time of his khilafah. Nah.
Did he have it like kind of like rough when he was the Khalifa? Like was it?
It was tight.
Yeah.
It was tight. Nah. He had the first fitna during the time of Abu Bakr when the people tried to refuse to pay zakat after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, and then after that it was shut down. And then he had the fitna of Musaylama, then it was shut down. Then after that the Khilafah of Umar, and then everything was running smooth. And then after that when Umar died, Khilafah of Uthman, فتنة 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 فتنة.
لجن
أين الخوارج they would have فتنة. واليهود منافقين في دسوا في the hypocrites that was getting in the ranks of the Muslims, keeping the Muslims at each other. Nah.
War, right?
Yeah, war after war. Nah, رضي الله عنهم أجمعين. So remember, ikhwa, this magic that was being taught, it wasn't magic in order to make the magicians. It was to warn them about magic. فلا تكفر بتعلمكم السحر فمن لم يقبل نصحهما. So whoever didn't accept the advice of these two angels, they learned the magic from them. They learned the magic from them. And from the type of magic they learned from them is what would make a man to separate from his wife or a woman separate from a husband. Until today, you'll see a couple, Muslims, al-din, upon a religion, wal-khuluq, in good manners. But it's like they can't agree with one another out of nowhere after they had a happy marriage. Or they have the children, their children are good, righteous children. And أولادهم يبرهم. Then فجأة, out of nowhere, نزاعات وغضب, arguments and fighting and like that. This is from the type of sihr, magic. The woman that goes into a woman's home and the woman is obedient to her husband. And that woman that finds a fitna with the obedience of the woman to her husband. SubhanAllah, you just run every time he says, he calls you, you just run and do whatever he says. These women are homeworkers. They're homeworkers and they're magicians. Don't give them husnul dhan. If a woman enters your home, sisters, enters your home, it begins to speak ill at your service to your husband. هذه ساحرة التي تدخل بيتك يا أخت وتوسوس لك تغضبك لخدمتك لزوجك. هذه الطريقة سحر. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن من البيان سحر. He says, the Prophet said, like we said last week, some types of eloquent speech is like magic. So when somebody comes and you're peaceful and you're calm and you're enjoying the worship of Allah, your relationship, whether it be with your spouse, your children, your relatives, your friend, your business partner, any relationship, and someone comes and begins inciting anger, discord, division, and like that, to the point that you begin looking at this person that you love and you know good about, you start looking at them different, know that this person is working magic on you. This person is working magic on you. This not person give you, to each his own. I'm just saying, no, you're not just saying, because you have just gave unsolicited advice about something that wasn't being complained about. This is where you see it. Where you going to find it? Unsolicited advice concerning something you're not complaining about. Be careful. This is magic. This is how homes, businesses, friendships, relationship between siblings, the children and their parents are destroyed through this type of magic.
Sometimes the people that are speaking this, they have the knowledge. Sometimes they don't even have the knowledge of what they're saying, right?
No, they have knowledge of what they're doing. They have knowledge of what they're doing. And that's their protection all the time. I didn't mean anything by it. I didn't. They're always running. I was just saying. I'm just straightforward. I keep it 100. This is their screen. Don't believe it. You're safer not believing it than you are believing it. Because if you believe it, guess what's going to happen? It means you're going to leave the door open for their evil. You're going to leave the door open for their evil. Don't believe it. No. You're not complaining. You have a good relationship. It doesn't have disobedience involved in it, except, we're all human. We all have it. But your relationship is not founded upon disobedience and corruption. So you have a good relationship for the sake of Allah with this person, whether it be a friend, a business partner, whatever like that. And the person comes and start finding fault in it or finding fault in that friend in order to make you start looking at them different and start doubting your relationship. This is a problem. This is the type of magic. And think about this. Think about what people are greedy to get. المال والجاه والمنصب وهذه الأشياء. كل هذه أشياء كان ممكن يعني يتعلمون شيئا من هذا. لا، ما يفرقون به بين المرء والزوجة. Instead of learning how to get money, how to get status, how to get position, control, power, instead of learning that, they were focusing on magic to separate a man and wife. And this magic is the same type of magic that is practiced by this government and every other government that's set up what do you call it? Social aid that keeps people apart, the man and woman apart. How's that social reform? Oh, you had a child out of wedlock? Okay, we'll give you a house, but you can't have a man. Not even if it's proven to be the father of the child. How? How is that going to bring everybody together? How do you fund fornication? هم يعني يدعمون الزنا هنا. المرأة إذا أتت بولد الزنا لا الحكومة إذا جاءت المرأة بولد الزنا يمنحونها ببيت معاش بشرط لا، حتى لو أب الولد لا يسكن معها الرجل، لا يكون لها الرجل. فالبيت هذا الحكومة تأتي وقت آخر التحقيقات، هل في رجل؟ لا يريد رجل هناك لتربية الأولاد. فيكون المرأة وحدها تتمرد، تزني، يعني تفش، وبدعم. أول ما لو جاء زوجين رسميين قانونيين شرعيين، نعم هذا ابني وهذه زوجتي ونحتاج معونة ومساعدة كذا، أبدا. Let a husband and wife come. Yeah, we're married, we have a child, and we need some help. I'm out of work, or I'm working, but it doesn't. No. Single woman, kids, and the more the kids with different fathers, the better. What is this? Those who Allahu Akbar. Allah Ta'ala said, those who disbelieve, Surah Al-Anfal, those who disbelieve, they spend their wealth. This is what Allah said about the disbelievers. Don't doubt it. He said, those who disbelieve spend their wealth to prevent from the path of Allah. So they're going to continue to spend it, and then it's going to be a means for regret. And then they're going to be what? Vanquished later. So that Allah Ta'ala can separate al-khabith min al-tayyib, the filthy from the pure. And then pile the filthy all on top of each other and destroy it. Now, so this is the magic they tried to learn. And they can't harm. Of course, nothing can happen except by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So remember, don't become to the point that you're nervous and maybe it's magic, maybe it's the ayn, and everything it's like you're not going to live your life out of fear of magic or the ayn. No. Al-adhkar, wal-du'a, wal-salawat, wal-sawm, to make the remembrances and to make the supplications and make the prayers and fasting with dhikrullah amatan, and in general just staying in remembrance of Allah with qira'at al-Qur'an. This is a fortress for you. That's why we're going over Hisn al-Muslim, fortress of the Muslim. Ikhwa, we're going over that. Memorize those du'as. Memorize them. These are adhkar. The Prophet taught us how to protect ourselves. Now, the Sheikh gathered this book together. We're reading it with the explanation of the same Sheikh that compiled it. We need this to protect ourselves from every type of magic. Now, so inshallah ta'ala, we'll stop here. And inshallah, if there are any afwan, if there's any, so anyone comes, remember, we're just talking about magic and speech right now. We didn't even get into the other types. الآن تكلمنا في السحر باللسان. إن من البيان للسحر فقط. في عنوان أخرى سنتكلم فيها. Is the other types we're going to talk about. But we're just talking about how dangerous the tongue is. The tongue. This is the weakest muscle in the body, possibly. I'm not biologist. But this weak little muscle is behind teeth and lips can destroy nations. This right here, the Prophet said in another hadith in Tabarani, he said, تحريك اللسان أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام في الفتن كوقوع السيف. Safe. He said the tongue moving in fitna, talking about fitna, is like a sword being unleashed. Now, he said, تريد أن تعلم من وكلت به الفتن. من وكلت به الفتن قال كل راكب موضعا وكل خطيب مسقعا. SubhanAllah, he said, you know who is trusted with the fitna? Everybody who gets on that riding beast and goes toward it, and everyone who beautifies it and glorifies it and calls the people to it.
الله.
يعني
عندك هو في حديث فتن القاعد بياخذ.
اي نعم في نفس الروايات الطبراني. نعم. The Prophet ﷺ talked about the fitna. He says ستأتي فتن ثم بقمع عمياء. Right? He said المضطجع في رواية المضطجع فيها خير من القاعد، والقاعد خير من القائم، والقائم خير من الماشي، والماشي خير من الراكب. He said it's going to become a fitna, a fit trials that are deaf, dumb, and blind. He said the one who is laying down when they come is better than the one who is sitting up. And the one who is sitting is better than the one who is standing. The one who is standing is the better one who is walking, and the one who is walking is better than the one who is riding. Right. Nah. So, inshallah ta'ala, we're going to talk more about this, but beware. I'm not talking about, ikhwan, just to get some clarity, I'm not talking about something that you complained about. I'm not talking about somebody, you went to somebody and said, listen, I'm going through this with my brother, I'm going through this with my mother and father, I'm going through this with my wife, with my husband, this and that. No, you opened the door, you invited them in, you told them some difficulties going on. I'm talking about the one that sees you happy and like this, and then they see the interaction with you and that other individual and say, I don't see how you can deal with her. What? No, I'm saying, no, to each his own. I know y'all seem like y'all get along, but that, whoa, what's going on? What kind of conversation we're about to have? No. Unless they see something that the person is doing that opposes Qur'an and Sunnah, then it's accepted. This is advice. But if they're just talking about your accepting behavior that doesn't oppose Qur'an and Sunnah that they wouldn't accept, that's none of your business. That's their relationship. It's none of your business. Now, so if there are any statements or questions about anything you said, we'll take them now. If not, we'll stop it here.
No, it's not like a quick question. So, from the different type, from kufr, like from learning it, from teaching it, this is kufr as well. I've heard that being pleased with it is also another fire as well. How does this tie into it? Because I know some of the youth, I think there was like a wave of it 10, 20 years ago with the magicians at like carnivals and circuses like this.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to understand, like, okay, being pleased with it, maybe they're like amazed at it, but not to the point where it takes them to want to go learn it. Is this like another fire, or how's being pleased with it?
So now let's look at this. How can they be amazed? What does this amazement mean? What does it mean? When the person goes to watch it, what are they getting out of it? But amazement, why? Because the only way you can be amazed is because you believe he's doing what he's doing.
Type of satisfaction or something.
Exactly. So it's a satisfaction from this magic being done that Allah Ta'ala has made impermissible. So then, let me give this harsh comparisons. So who's better? The one who goes to watch a magician that Allah said about magic that is kufr, or the one who watches porn out of amazement and desire?
The one who goes.
We can be amazed by many things, but watching porn isn't kufr.
The one who goes to a magician. There
we go. So this is the danger. This person is claiming to have an ability that's beyond the abilities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the problem with the magicians. They're saying, I have an ability, Qudratillah. I have an ability that Allah, I can do this. Allah didn't say he gave the human being the ability to do this. I can make an elephant in an airplane disappear. I can make you float. Allah didn't give humans this ability. Allah didn't give humans this ability. So then what are they claiming when they give this example? Remember, the magicians were brought against Musa alayhi salam to what? To go against what the miracles of Musa with a power that they thought was outside the power of Allah until hazimahum Musa alayhi salam. So what is this amazement? It's worse than watching porn. Watching a magic show is worse than watching porn. Nah.
No, Jazakallah khair, barakallah feek.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Jihad.
Nah, I just was gonna mention is being amazed with deception. It's just a unfortunate thing that the person is actually amazed with being deceived.
Nah. It's worse than being deceived, because it's being amazed that somebody is doing something beyond what Allah has given them the ability to do.
Falsehood.
No.
But do you want to go like movies? You show like Superman and all that.
Mhm.
Or look up blue skies, or he fly over buildings.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, all of this, all of these things. That see, this is the problem. There's so many things that are kufr that we look at as entertainment that is a danger on our deen. It's a danger on our deen. It's so many things that are kufr that, but when we start getting into the Qur'an, we come into the classes, we start learning, we start saying, La ilaha illallah. And then some people that are looked at as, oh, that brother strict, he's overboarding like that. When we start opening the Quran and opening the Hadith and going through and like they said, La ilaha illallah, what are we doing? Muslims, what are we doing? How could the Prophet ﷺ said, Bada al-Islam ghariban, wa sayu'udu ghariban kama bada? That Islam began as something strange and is going to return to being strange. So how could we be living, I mean, we're in America amongst disbelievers, and we don't feel strange? We feel like, yeah, no. Muslims say all the time, no, we have to, in our Islam blend. We're not blending, we're dissolving. Kufr and Iman was never supposed to blend. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. ليس لمجده امتزاج مع الدين كله. يظهره ليس يخلطه مع الدين كله. The Prophet said, Allah Ta'ala said to make it prevail over all religions, not to make it mix, not to blend it with every other religion, to make it prevail over every other religion, not to mix it. We're not blending, but Muslims think we're blending. We're not blending, we're dissolving. Do you ever hear a kafir argue with their parents about celebrating Ramadan? You ever hear about them arguing with their parents about wanting to go on Hajj? But Muslims arguing with their parents, their mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers about celebrating Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, this, that. They're not fighting to be like us. We're fighting to be like them. They're not fighting to be like us. No matter much, so many Muslims in Minnesota, this many Muslims in Detroit, Hamtramck, the city council, they're all Muslim, you can hear the adhan, and like, okay, but look at the youth. How many generations do you think is going to last?
They want to imitate the Kufar.
There it is. No. Abu Rumay said, this is the last question of the Afis.
Because I was wondering, because the police, it can fall into, I've seen it before, the video games, man. They got a lot of sihr in these video games too as well.
Right. A lot. It's part of the powers. I mean, look at the powers. Shooting fire out the hand. What's that? Who can shoot fire out the hand?
Yeah.
But they do it in such a way, they make it seem so innocent. They make it seem so innocent. يقول بعض وضعوا السم في العسل. Some say that they put poison in the honey. أنا أقول بالعكس. بالهم وضعوا العسل على السم. No, they put honey on poison. They didn't put poison in honey. It wasn't sweet. And then they added poison to it. It was poisoned, and they put honey over it as deception. That's how it really went. Mm-hmm. So now it's like practice. It's habit. It's like, wow. And then we'll watch magic, whether it be on video games, cartoons, How many Muslim kids and their parents sat and watched Lion King? Muslims. What's her name? Little Mermaid. Power Rangers, all of this stuff. Look at this stuff. Teletubbies. The whole Disney. The whole Disney. Bunch of magic and lewdness and perversion, the whole Disney. Then take Warner Brothers with them. La ilaha illallah. We said, no, it's just fun. It's innocent. It's innocent? Is it? Until the kids grow up, and then we wonder why. No, that's a haram. Now it's haram. I was raised on it. Now it's haram. I was raised on it.
Actually shoot up some real person.
Yeah, shooting them up, thinking it's a game.
Like you know, like when they have on TV, like them lions and they be having like magic stuff on TV where the person disappear.
Yeah, all of this stuff. Yeah, the Invisible Man. All of these things, and we raise our kids on it. So we'll stop here. This is important. So we have to be aware. Inshallah, we'll talk about other types of magic in the next class, next week. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.